As a racing legend, Mickey Thompson was, among many things, one of the great desert racers. He knew that if he could bring desert racing to a place where more people could watch, that stadium racing would be very popular. Well, it is. And in 1993, the battle for the lead in the Grand National Sport Trucks is proof that Mickey Thompson was right. The crowds have come to watch the Mears Gang, Ivan Stewart, and Rick Johnson and his Chevy make stadium racing as exciting this year as it's ever been. We're in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. It's round 5 of this series, and we invite you to be part of Mickey Thompson's dream. It's all next on ESPN. Gorgeous afternoon here in Southern California. Temperatures in the 80s. In fact, you couldn't ask for better weather for racing. And it ought to be a heck of a night here at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California tonight. Hello again, everybody. Along with Marty Reed, Ken Bruce speaking to you. And Marty, here we are, the 5th event of the Mickey Thompson season in 1993. We still don't have a clear-cut favorite.
Well, you take a look at the points championship right now for the drivers in Grand National Sport Trucks, and it depicts exactly what you're talking about, Ken. Here we are, round number 5. Rod Millen is leading 221 to Rick Johnson's 192. Look at Rob McCachran, only 1 point back, but all the way down through the top 6. Each one of these guys, all the way down to Roger Mears Jr., who won our last event at Phoenix, has a chance for the Drivers' Championship.
Now, we saw some names up there. We saw the guy behind the wheel at truck number 1, guy behind the wheel at truck number 7. They know each other real well. In fact, they've been chasing each other all year. But our Mike Galloway is down on pit road, and he's gotten both to jump out of those trucks and spend some time with us. Okay, Mike.
With 4 races and 4 winners this year, and our leader has yet to be one of those winners. Rod, are you feeling any pressure that you haven't won a feature this year?
No, not really. You know, the whole system of the grids this year, it's totally inverted. You know, it means that the Toyota is obviously the fastest, and I'm enjoying that side of it. And, you know, we're getting close to the front. You know, I hope in the Rose Bowl here we might get a good chance. It looks like we got a great racetrack.
A great racetrack, but here's the man that's in the number 2 spot, and you kind of like it, but you won the first one this year.
Yeah, everybody who's started on the pole has won, so we've had 4 different winners. I'm second in points, so Rod and I will be sitting on the 3rd row for the main event. With qualifying, we start in the back, so it's a little bit frustrating sometimes for fans and also for drivers. They're saying, well, you were fast in qualifying in the heats, how come you're not up there for the main? But it's making for good racing. It's putting the guys that are maybe having a slight off weekend up in the front and give them a chance to win the race and get back towards the top in points, but it's keeping us back there, and that's the frustrating part.
Well, these 2 guys are going to definitely look for the front.
Thank you, Mike Galloway. We'll be hearing from Mike as the evening progresses. It's a great driver's race. It's an equally great manufacturer's race.
Well, the thing that's interesting here is this shows you the advantage of having a 2-truck team. Take a look at Toyota with 376 points, and you're saying, well, wait a minute, Ricky Johnson's in 2nd place in his Chevrolet, but why are they down so far? Well, Chevrolet is only running 1 truck. Now, that's going to be rectified later on in the season, but it'll be too late for Chevrolet. I think at this point they've got too much ground to make up. It's really a battle between Toyota, Ford, and Nissan.
Right, any one of the 3 could win it. It's a big night here at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, not just for the Grand National Sport Trucks, but a lot of other classifications as well. Mickey Thompson Stadium Off-Road Racing is brought to you by Budweiser. Fresh, pure, natural. Proud to be your Bud.
Around the layout here at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, the starting line will be on the backstretch, and turn 1's a left-hander, 90 degrees. Actually, a big sweeper, which connects to turn 2. That brings you through what will end up being the finish line, a double jump, down into turn 3. That's a 180-degree left-hander. Through a series of rhythm jumps, you get out of sync, you're in some big trouble, to turn number 4. That's 180 degrees to the right. Again, another series of rhythm jumps, and then back to one more left-hander, turn 5, 180 degrees to the left. That takes you back to the backstretch one more time through one big jump, and this is a fast course. Lap times under 29 seconds.
And we're ready to go racing tonight in this Grand National Sport Truck Heat number 1. And wouldn't you know it, one of the guys that we're going to be watching in this first race drives that truck. The number 1, the points leader, Rod Millen, not too far away from here in Newport Beach, California.
And he'll start at the very back of the pack. As you can see, he's all the way at the back. He'll have to work his way through. Now, this track is the widest track that we've seen all season long. So passing is going to be a lot easier than it's been in the last 4 rounds.
Well, we'll see here, and it's certainly been Millen's forte this year in picking up the passing points. As we begin, jumping out in front, Brian Stewart. He had the pole, or at least he had the lead, and certainly he maintains it as we're just through the first half of this first lap of heat race number 1, through that rhythm section, and now coming up at the top of turn number 5. But it looks like Stewart may be challenged by Roger Sr., and it is Roger Sr. who takes the lead as they complete 1 lap here in this first heat race. Roger Sr. with Brian Stewart running second, but here comes Junior up to take that number 2 spot. So, Marty, just like we saw a couple of weeks ago in Phoenix, Mears Sr. and Junior dominating the early heat race.
And Rick Johnson back in the back, starting to move his way up. He's trying to fight his way up into 4th position. Oh, we got a big pile up.
Back at the top of turn number 4, a truck over the Hyperberry. It appears to be the number 3 truck of Rob McCachran. He is out at this point of the race, and a full yellow has come out. So we'll go to the full caution. Now the red has come out. Red flag is out, and this will stop racing completely. Not a happy man, Ivan Stewart. What happened to him, Marty?
Well, it looks as though they may have broken a water line because there's a lot of steam coming out from the front of the truck, and this will really hurt him in the points. If you don't finish a race, that's when you really fall down. If you remember, he came into tonight's action 5th in the points. That's the lowest he's ever been. He's never finished lower than 3rd in the history of the sport.
So Ivan Stewart apparently done, at least for the moment, and we'll go to the pits to try and figure out exactly what the problem is. Inside the truck and almost inside the helmet of Roger Mears Sr. Little mud on that visor. You got to expect that. 46
years old from Bakersfield, sitting on the front row right now and leading his pack. He won the main event back in Seattle. Junior won the last stop in Phoenix. The Mears gang running 1-2 here. I'm wondering if they're trying to make a statement, you think?
I think so. He led wire to wire in both the heat and the main in Seattle, and he'd love nothing better than that here. Roger Sr. on the restart. Junior gets bumped as they come through turn 2. Still no yellow, but Roger Sr. leads the pack.
Oh, and look who jumped from 4th all the way to 2nd with some great maneuvering. The number 7 Rick Johnson Chevrolet Thunder.
Johnson gets T-boned as he comes through turn number 4, but maintains that 2nd spot. And through the top of turn number 5, it's Roger Sr. who continues to lead this race. There you see him in the number 4 Budweiser. Roger Mears Sr. out of Bakersfield, California. He has the lead in this first heat race of the Grand National Sport Trucks tonight. Rick Johnson in his Chevy is right on him, and currently in 3rd place, Brian Stewart. Stewart navigating well, as are all the trucks through the rhythm section. In the lead, though, as you see him pass screen left to right, is Roger Mears Sr. And dropping all the way back to the back of the pack is Roger Jr. Perhaps a problem with his truck. Looks like a problem with the left rear wheel.
Well, as you see the battle for the lead, we'll bring you up to date. In 3rd place is now Walker Evans. Brian Stewart is back to 4th.
Past the barrier cam, and it looks like, no. For a minute, it looked like Johnson would take the lead from Sr., but he cannot. Roger Mears Sr. continues with the lead. Now navigating through the ribbon section inside the car now with the truck of Rick Johnson, driving the Chevy, currently running 2nd, challenging for 1st, but Roger Mears Sr. holding off.
You know what was interesting? Throughout practice and qualifying, Roger Sr. said, I just don't have the setup. I don't have this thing figured out. Something happened between qualifying and tonight's first heat because he is holding off Ricky Johnson.
Mears continues to hold the lead. Well, he had a very good run of it in Phoenix till he hit some ruts and got knocked out. But truthfully, Roger Mears Sr. has had it dialed in ever since Seattle. Now Johnson passes inside and takes the lead. Mears comes back to battle him off, and Johnson maintains as he turns down turn number 2. The red flag, though, out one more time, and we've got a major problem back at turn number 4. We've got a truck on its side and completely disabled.
All right, that's Rob McCachran on the outside. Brian up and over the barrier there, and boy, he just can't save it.
We're going to restart heat race number 1 one more time. There is a man loaded for bear. He'd like nothing better than to come away with a win here tonight.
Well, he doesn't like the fact that because of that accident happening before he got the pass completed, it goes back to the previous lap. So Roger Mears Sr., there you see him, he's back in front of Ricky Johnson. Johnson in second place. Question is, for how long?
The Budweiser normally in the lead, at least in the last couple or 3 events, and Roger Sr. wants nothing more than that tonight. But he's got to battle Johnson, who has looked sharp the last couple of laps. Johnson in the Chevy passing inside. But it's Roger Sr. that comes back with the lead as they navigate through the rhythm section. Top of turn number 4, and Johnson, as you can see inside his truck, kissing the bumper of Roger Sr.
Now, this is a tire battle going on. Roger Mears is on Yokohama's, and Rick Johnson's on VF Goodrich. Now watch the side fight. See what happens? Oh, Mears gets up on the bicycle.
And it gives Johnson valuable time as they go down and over the jumps. Turn number 3, navigated by Rick Johnson, who takes the lead. He has taken the lead from Roger Sr.
Well, the problem he's got is that hood is flying up into his face. Now, according to the rules, he could be black flag.
It appears that they are looking for the black flag down at the start-finish line, but so far it's not out yet. Johnson continues with the lead, holding off Roger Sr. And as you can see, that hood keeps flying up, and it allows Roger Sr. to take the lead one more time. Roger Mears Sr. holding off Walker Evans. And Rick Johnson has fallen behind somewhat, but it's still Roger's race. There you see inside the car of Rick Johnson, and you can see the havoc that that hood is really playing in this race.
Well, the best thing that could happen for Rick would be for that hood to go away, but it's just not, and he may get a black flag here.
The white flag is out, not the black flag, and that means 1 lap to go. And Roger Mears Sr. still has the lead, holding off Johnson, who's battling not only the course, but the hood that flaps in front of him. There you see Johnson in the number 7 truck, the Chevy. Out in front, though, is the Budweiser of Roger Mears Sr. He's made it through turn number 5. Will come down now through turn number 1 and prepare to take the checker flag. Roger Mears Sr. has won heat race number 1 tonight. Rick Johnson will finish second. Number 3 will be number 3, Rob McCachran. That's the finish in heat race number 1. That's the winner, Roger Mears Sr.
Roger, what a battle between you and Rick Johnson there the last few laps.
Yeah, it really was. I'll tell you, he kept me honest. He got up beside me there, passed me once, and I was too determined after a little altercation we had last week. I felt like I really needed to get back up there.
Well, what was the difference? I mean, in practice and qualifying, you just couldn't find the setup, but boy, you had it here in Heat 1.
Yeah, well, in qualifying, there was a track change that we weren't aware of, so we just didn't know about it and ended up missing qualifying by a long ways. But we knew our Bud trucks were running good.
Well, congratulations. We'll see you in Heat number 2.
Thank you.
Down in the pits with us tonight is Mike Galloway, who's standing by. Mike?
Cal Wells, Ivan had a real tough break. What exactly happened to the truck?
Well, at the start, we went a couple of turns, 3 or 4 turns. Ivan was jostling for position. He and Walker Evans came together, coming around the back straight. From what we can see on our tapes, not Walker's fault at all, not Ivan's either. Came over a little finger jump together. Walker's bumper just caught the left front door panel of ours just right and pulled an oil fitting loose. Consequently, the motor pumped all the oil out of itself. We burned it up.
So the motor's gone. Any problems in changing it?
No, well, it's going to be a challenge. You know, we fight a time curfew here. After 10 o'clock, we're done. It's $2,000 a minute after 10 o'clock. MTEG, or all of us racers, have to pay because of the noise abatement problems here. So we're going to be fighting time. MTG won't be able to hold the show, but I'm pretty confident we'll be able to do it. Our record time is 42 minutes on this, and if it holds that way, I'm sure the Toyota team will make it happen.
Well, Marty, in the four-wheel ATV, at least the first heat race tonight, it was a big one. Big win for Earhart, but the battle was for second and third.
Yeah, Mark Earhart on the number 1 gets inside of Fred Shepard on the 16, and from there he will stretch it into a huge win. Mike Olmstead and Nicholas Granlund fought it out for second and third, but it was all Mark Earhart. From this point on, he just ran away and hid. Take a look at this. You can see just how big of margin it was as he took the checkered flag.
And welcome back to racing here at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. We are all set for the Super 1600 heat race number 1. And since we're talking about number 1, we'll talk about Kevin Smith and his Mirage, who is right next to number 1, Jerry Welchel. Not a bad 1-2 punch to follow.
Yeah, they were the fast qualifiers out of this division, so they'll be starting in row number 2. In front, Marty Hart and Jimmy Nichols.
And quickly it is Hart in that number 3, who is zoomed to the lead. Right behind him is Jimmy Nichols in the number 10. Hart out of Louisiana, now trying to pad that distance, but quickly up to challenge as they go through turn number 4 is Jimmy Nichols.
Third place is Jerry Welchel. Kevin Smith in 4th.
Right now it's Hart that's got it dialed in pretty well. Marty Hart's had a tough go of it so far. Back down at the top of turn number 4, we've got a problem. Matter of fact, Will Goshen's got a real problem. He's up on top of another Super 1600.
Yeah, you're going to see right there is Bob Gordon, and that's Bill Goshen in the number 9.
They have piggybacked on each other. Now they seem to come apart. No caution yet, and the race continues with Hart in the number 3. Out in front, there he is, driving the Chenoa out of Louisiana. Marty Hart has the lead by a good 7 car lengths. Nichols second, Jerry Welchel third.
Yeah, the real battle right there. Welchel trying to put the inside move on that kind of make it stick. Now remember, this is a 180-degree right-hander. Look out, they're getting sideways.
And they have to navigate around that stalled Super 1600. Welchel still third and Nichols second. Nichols in the 10, Welchel in the 1, and Welchel tries the inside but cannot wrestle that second position away. Nichols doing a good job cutting him off on the inside. Meanwhile, up front, it is still Marty Hart's race. Another problem at the top of turn number 4, as there's more traffic that has to be navigated around. Here comes Hart around that. Goshen is stalled there.
Oh, Kevin Smith puts a nice move inside of Jerry Welchel. Here comes Welchel trying to take the position back. That's for 3rd and 4th place.
Meanwhile, one of the Super 1600s on its side is righted now. So all on the track and running, with the exception of that number 9 or number 6 of Bob Gordon. Welchel in the number 1, battling for 2nd place with Nichols, but it's still Marty Hart who has the lead. There's Nichols in the 10 and Hart in the 1, Welchel in the 1. Meanwhile, up in front of everyone is Marty Hart. They've been dueling all race in this heat race, Nichols and Welchel has, and Welchel just can't seem to wrestle that lead away.
Well, he had a problem for a while with Kevin Smith, but he's gotten rid of Kevin, and Kevin's dropped back, and there is the battle going on. See, he gets that inside line, but boy, the acceleration down this straight, oh, they tangle. They're tied up into each other.
Locking up, Welchel is actually up on top of Nichols, drives over the micro barrier and flips. And now it's Welchel who's out of the race.
And in all of this, Kevin Smith is the one who benefits. He moves into 2nd place. Nichols is 3rd, and with that fuel dumping out, there's going to be a full course yellow.
There sure is. There's no question about that.
And there's flames flickering under there. Let's go, fellas.
You can see the flames actually flickering there, and there is fuel on the track. And now that fuel is on fire, and they scramble out to try and put it out. And that's exactly what's happening. Good work there by the trackside crew. The yellow caution flag is out, and so thankfully is Jerry Welchel.
Let's go back and show you exactly what happens with Jerry Welchel. That's Jimmy Nichols on the inside. Now, Welchel gets into Nichols. Nichols gets on the horsepower right here. Now, Jerry gets up and over, and then that hydro barrier catches the right rear wheel, and he goes up and over onto his lid, and then all of a sudden the fuel comes out, and that's when the fire started.
So the restart here in the Super 1600 heat race number 1, and they put Jimmy Nichols all the way at the back of the pack.
Yeah, and Jerry Welchel gets to go to 2nd position. I don't know if I agree with this one. It's very rare that we get into discussions about the rough driving committee, but I thought both racers were just going after the position, and it was a racing accident.
So they, in essence, blame Nichols for the incident.
That's right. And he penalized all the way back to the back, and Jerry Welchel, who ended up on his lid, is in the 2nd position. I'm sure Jerry's very happy with it. I guarantee you Jimmy Nichols is just livid.
Marty Hart has the lead. Checker flag out. Marty Hart wins it. Welchel 2nd. And in 3rd is Kevin Smith. And Nichols will finish last. Marty Hart wins it. Heat race number 1 of the Super 1600 tonight. All right, heat race number 1, all set to go in the Superlights. And we're going to go inside the car of Jimmy Johnson during this heat race to see what it's like. There's outside that Nature Recipes number 1. Inside is Jimmy Johnson and our camera. Jimmy looks good to go. And we're off. To the lead in the number 51 from Rialto, California, Scott Clars takes the lead. But it's early and they're bunched up. Watch out for number 18, Sean Finley from Lake Elsner in his Triple E. He can drive too. Finley currently second. Frank Chavez out of Escondido, California is third. In car with Jimmy Johnson. Banging and grinding and keeping it steady. Steady as it can go. He's a good one. Clars, though, has the lead. He's in front of Johnson. There he is in the colorful number 51. Sean Finley in the number 18, currently holding second and holding Johnson off. Chavez now running third. But it's Clars who's really built himself a pretty fair lead. We'll call it about 10 car lanes, 10 super light lanes. But it's early in this heat race.
And that's no fluke for Clars. He finished second at the main event in San Diego.
Right on him, though, is our new number 2, Jimmy Johnson. There's a race for third. Frank Chavez in the number 15. Here, though, comes Chavez. Right behind him is Joe Price. Out front, Clars. Jimmy Johnson on him. Johnson won the Phoenix main event, number 2 in that heat, and before that, won at Seattle. So Johnson has had a good run of it here lately on the Mickey Thompson circuit.
Of course, the word on Johnson is he is in line to take over the second Grand National Sport Truck seat that when Chevrolet debuts the second truck later this season. Nothing officially announced yet.
Johnson tries the inside track. Clars holds him off. Johnson will try it again at the top of turn 1. And appears to have gained the advantage by the tight turn. And now Jimmy Johnson has the lead. And it's Clars who has to look at the back of his Superlight. And Clars has spun out, hitting the barrier just at the top of turn 3. Johnson has the lead. That Nature's Recipe team. 2 laps to go. Chavez will try to make a move. But Johnson appears to be turning very tightly tonight. Marty, he seems to have it dialed in. Tires seem to be working real well for Jim.
Yeah, sometimes we don't talk enough about the tire combinations that these vehicles need, but you're absolutely right. If you get the wrong setup, it can cost you a lot. It looks as though Frank Chavez isn't going to have enough time to catch the man up front, Jimmy Johnson.
The lead belongs to Jimmy Johnson. He'll go through the jump at the top of the course, make the turn as you watch from inside his Superlight. Look at the checker flag. It's waving, and it belongs to Jimmy Johnson in heat race number 1. Chavez will finish second, and it appears that Scott Clars, who had the lead at one time, will have to finish and settle for third. No settlement for that man. Jimmy Johnson rules the roost in heat race number 1. And a reminder, if you live near any of these stadia, come out and see the best racing in the world. On Saturday, June 26th, Mickey Thompson Stadium Off-Road Racing comes to Rice Stadium in Salt Lake City, Utah. Then on Saturday, September the 11th, we'll roll the dice at the Silver Bowl in Las Vegas, Nevada. And on Saturday night, October the 9th, we'll have a Rocky Mountain High in Denver at Mile High Stadium. Don't buy one ticket, buy a bunch and bring the family. We got an in-car camera, and we're ready to go racing here.
And one of the things, I thought I saw some fluid leaking from one of the vehicles as they pulled up on line.
A bump to start, but Brian Stewart has the lead.
And I'm right. The number 6, Roger Mears Jr., he has got fluid leaking from underneath the right side of his truck. Oh, look out.
Well, it is now the Ironman who takes the lead as a full 360 has taken Brian Stewart to the back of the pack. Ironman Ivan Stewart with Roger Jr. on his heels. That's how they line up. 1, 2, and 3 is Rob McCachran.
Now remember what happened in heat race number 1. The Ironman did not finish. He picked up only 1 point. He needs this badly.
Ivan Stewart, Roger Jr., and Danny Thompson. 1, 2, and 3. The Ironman continues to pad his lead. Brian Stewart trying to make up ground, but that'll be difficult because of his spin.
I don't think Roger Mears Jr. is going to have a motor by the end of this heat race. I think he's leaking water out of his cooling system on the right side.
Well, we'll see if smoke appears from underneath the hood. Right now, he's good enough to be in second. It's the Ironman that has the lead. The number 7, as you see there, is Rick Johnson.
That's the battle for third place.
With Danny Thompson.
Thompson in third, Johnson in fourth.
There you see Thompson in the 9, Johnson in the 7. A battle between Chevy and Ford. All the way up at the foot of the pack is the Ironman, Ivan Stewart, inside that Chevy. Johnson at the controls.
Yeah, you notice how Rick sort of drives one-handed? That's to get the other hand ready to hit that shift lever if he needs it.
Kind of like what we do on the highway.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Ivan Stewart padding his lead over Roger Jr. We'll wait to see if that radiator problem manifests itself.
Whoa, did you see Senior go airborne there?
Really coming through the rhythm section extremely hard. Ivan Stewart now with a bigger lead as he negotiates turn number 3. There's Roger Senior at 4. Our barrier cam providing an excellent ground level view of these Grand National Sport Trucks. Here's our leader, Ivan Stewart, through the rhythm section.
And the steam coming out of Junior's right side is just getting more and more. There is Senior going airborne again. He's trying to track down Danny Thompson. Rod Millen right behind Senior.
But what a marvelous turn of events this would be for the Ironman should it hold up. Ivan Stewart struggling in the point standings, but he won in San Diego. He has 3 driving championships to his credit, 15 main wins. And he would certainly position himself well for a win tonight if he wins this heat. Inside again the car of Rick Johnson, number 7, Chevy. Meanwhile, back outside, number 6, Roger Jr., and there's Johnson in the number 7 Chevy.
And Johnson's seeing the same thing that we are. He can see all that steam coming out the right side. He's got to be wondering, hey, is this guy's motor going to give out here, and I'm going to inherit this position?
Back inside with Johnson as he drives and negotiates through the rhythm section. Ivan Stewart, though, still has a sizable lead in front of him and Roger Jr. and Rick Johnson. Danny Thompson currently running 4th. White flag now officially deployed. The Ironman has it. He knows 1 lap to go, and he can cruise into that main.
Okay, Rick Johnson's going to change his strategy right here. He knows he's got to go after him. Here it goes, the dive on the inside.
He makes the hairpin turn, but Roger Jr. continues to hold the lead. Now Roger Jr. takes the inside. Checker flag about to come out for the Ironman. We'll watch for that as we watch the battle here for second place between Roger Jr. and Rick Johnson. Checker flag out in front. There it is. Ivan Stewart has taken the checker. Roger Jr. has taken second. Third place goes to Rick Johnson. There's the winner. Ivan Stewart will go to the main event with a heat race win under his belt.
I love mornings after my dad would race. I'd get up before anyone else, sneak out to the garage, and inspect every inch of his old Chevy. Just by looking, I could tell how well he did the night before. Yeah, I got my first taste of racing and my first taste of Sundrop right here.
Sundrop, the taste you go wild for, and a favorite in the Earnhardt garage for over 40 years.
Some things just kind of run in the family.
Sundrop Citrus Soft Drink.
In the main event tonight, Marty, in the four-wheel ATV, what a move by Mark Earnhardt to take the lead in the win.
Now, Sean Stubbs has got the number 14 Suzuki out front until that inside maneuver by the number 1 of Mark Earnhardt. And look how he slams the door on this corner, clipping the apex so nicely. And from this point on, the man who won the championship last year brings it on home to take the main event win here tonight at Pasadena at the Rose Bowl. Mark Earnhardt, your winner.
We're ready to go now in the American Racing Wheels Sport Utility main event. And look who's up there in that front row, Marty. It's Jerry Welchel.
Yeah, that's a good shot. Normally in a Super 1600, the first time he has raced in sport utility, and he's on the front row in a Toyota alongside Tommy Croft. Croft carrying our bumper cam.
All right, we'll see that as we progress. Welchel zooms to the lead, and this just the opening moments of the first race, and we have got a major spill back on the hydro barrier that draws the yellow. It was the sport utility of Jim Smith who did the pirouette. Now the yellow's waved off.
And then there's another pile up there. That looks like Tommy Croft that got hung up. No, it is Larry Knoll.
Yeah. Croft has the lead now in the wake of that spectacular spill that Jim Smith drove out of. So Croft ahead with Welchel on his heels, and right behind him is Christopher Neal in the number 4.
Well, Jerry Welchel did not have a lot of practice time in this vehicle, and they have done a remarkable job getting this vehicle ready for tonight's race. He's running second right now, right in front of Chris Neal.
Meanwhile, the man that's watching all of this go by him is Larry Knoll in the number 2 Jeep. He can't win for losing now as he tries to back up and drive through it. He pulls up and runs back into Brad Pearson. But up in front, it continues to be Tommy Croft with the lead.
Chris Neal has moved into second place. Remember, he missed the Phoenix event and dropped all the way down to 6th in the points.
Let's take a look at our bumper cam. On the front of that car, the number 1 of Tommy Croft. Oh, as he moves through the rhythm section, you can see it is not a smooth ride.
Ready for some air?
Oh! Don't like that plane I was on today. Okay. Number 4 of Christopher Neal, currently riding number 2 to the man in this sport utility vehicle, the number 1 of Tommy Croft. Croft, the points leader, 36 years old out of San Diego. Won the main in Seattle, won the main in Phoenix. He's won the last 2 mains. He's going to try to make it the hat trick here in Pasadena tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, Chris Neal is putting some pressure on him in the Nissan. It's Jeep first, Nissan second, Toyota third.
Meanwhile, it is a short night for Larry Knoll, who remains stalled at the top of turn number 4. He's been there since the first lap. It is still Tommy Croft's race. There you see him in the number 1 Jeep. Jerry Welchel, very quietly in 3rd place. He had the lead momentarily and fell back to 2nd. Now 3rd to Neal and to Croft. That'll be a strong showing for Welchel in his debut here at the American Racing Wheel Sport Utility Meet.
I think the biggest thing you have to remember is the weight of these vehicles is much more, as there is our 3rd place vehicle of Jerry Welchel. The weight of these cars is considerably more than his Super 1600, so you have to sort of learn the feel of the car as the white flag is out.
1 lap to go. It is Tommy Croft's race to win at this point. He is navigating through the rhythm section, coming up on turn 5. 2 more turns to go, and he'll have it. Christopher Neal falling back ever so slightly now. Will have to settle for 2nd. As Tommy Croft from San Diego has won his 3rd main in a row. It happens tonight at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. He's pumped and he should be. Jeep is on top, and Croft is the reason why. The winner in the American Racing Wheel Sport Utility main event.
Hat trick in hockey, 3 in a row. Good job.
Yeah, thanks to the team has just put such a great effort. The Jeep Cherokee and the Goodyear tires and Craftsman tools, and they just did a great job. My mechanics. This was a tough track. It was real tight, and I had my doubts going into the main event, but we pulled it off. And
Take a look at the monitor. You can see some of this action. You didn't see what happened to Jim Smith behind you at the start of the race, did you?
No, I sure didn't. All I was doing was trying to concentrate on the Toyota of Jerry Welchel, of make sure, oh yeah, he went over hard right there. Was just know I needed to get a good start because it was just so hard to pass. And there goes that Jeep Cherokee right there. And it was just a great time, Marty.
Congratulations. Great win.
Thank you very much.
The footwear, the machine, and the rider. Ryan Carlisle, good to go, as are all the Ultracross riders. Here are the main event tonight. Our heat winners, Mike Healy and Larry Brooks. Number 19, Healy. Number 3, Brooks. Not a bad pair to watch here in this main event.
No, and they're going to start all the way back in row number 7. Now, they wear those bandanas because it's easier for the crowd to pick them out as they work their way to the front.
Here we go, and again, racing in the opposite direction than all of the other racing that you've seen tonight here on this Mickey Thompson stop in Pasadena. This is the norm for the Ultracross. Jumps better and safer, and that's the reason why for these bikers. And a little bit of a pileup down there at turn 4, but it unscrambles quickly.
Yeah, the one thing is Larry Brooks just barely escaped through that scramble.
Meanwhile, all the way up at the front, our leaders are the 64 bike of Mike Bell and the 49 of Robert Drew. They weave their way down. You're going to see a lot of air. Not necessarily through the rhythm section here, but through the jumps that you'll find at either side of the track. Mike Bell with the lead. Bell in the colorful yellow through the 49. They are 1 and 2 early on in this race. Craig Canoy, currently number 3, and Canoy is a man you're going to want to watch. He has had some success in the early part of this Ultracross season.
Just to bring you up to date, Larry Brooks has moved up to 8th position. We'll keep you posted.
Meanwhile, the race continues, and there is Brooks on the number 3. Brooks, as we mentioned, one of our heat race winners tonight in Pasadena.
And he's now 7th.
Bell, and now Canoy is 2nd. Drew falling back to 3rd.
Brooks is now 6th.
There's Bell, the number 64. Canoy right behind him. Both local fellas. We'll see how they ride, too. Very rarely coming down for a seat of the saddle. Always riding with the bucket up and the knees bent. And it is a tremendous amount of punishment they put on the lower extremities of their bodies. That's why this is a young man's sport. Not too many 30 and 40-year-olds in this.
Well, the oldest rider is actually 32-year-old Jim Holly.
One of the few. Reaching the halfway point or close to it of this main event. It remains Mike Bell in the lead with Craig Canoy on his heels. And coming up quickly into that number 3 spot is Ryan Carlisle. So we'll keep our eye on number 6.
Yeah,
Carlisle 2nd at points day.
The guys that are really getting interesting is 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Carlisle, and then Ray Crum, and then Larry Brooks. Oh, we got a spill there.
And we have Tony Amoradio tied up with the number 19 bike, and they're exchanging words. They're exchanging words. Amoradio and Mike Healy exchanging words at the turn as Amoradio accused Healy of some wrongdoing. And now a huge flip off one of the turns. And the bike, the number 7 bike, has gone flying.
And then we had a crash up front in our leaders, and guess who's got the lead? The number 3 of Larry Brooks. We had 2 spills at 2 different sections of the course.
There's our leader, number 3, Larry Brooks, and right behind him is the number 2 of Kyle Lewis. Brooks and Lewis, 1-2 with 2 laps to go. Been a good race so far, Marty.
Yeah,
there's spills and thrills, and it's Larry Brooks who's come from the middle of the pack to take the lead with 1 lap to go.
Yeah, and these guys are teammates, Team Yamaha, and boy, I'll tell you, there is no quarter given. They are going to go after each other right down the wire.
It's Brooks with the lead, Lewis on his tail, trying to take the inside. Brooks holds him off. Brooks has to navigate through this hairpin. He does that well. Now through the back end of the rhythm section. He'll have only 1 more turn. He'll make that, and Larry Brooks will ride home tonight with the main win in the Ultracross here in Pasadena. His teammate, Kyle Lewis, will finish 2nd. Robert Drew finishes 3rd. Larry Brooks, the winner tonight in the Ultracross.
Larry Brooks, congratulations on a great win tonight.
Yeah, it was a really good race. It was a lot of banging out there. When I got around those 2 riders that had fallen, I caught my knee on them, and luckily I stayed up and stayed to get the overall win. I didn't know that was Kyle behind me. He was really pressuring me from the last row, and I think we put on a really good show tonight.
Congratulations, great win.
Thanks a lot.
Back at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena with Marty Reed. We're all set here for this Grand National Sport finale. But right now, I understand our Mike Galloway standing by with Rick Johnson, who would love dearly to win this race tonight. Mike?
Rick Johnson sitting down in the pits, taking a break before the feature. Rick, all of the vehicles flying yellow ribbons tonight, what are they representing?
Well, Colleen Campbell and some other people have put together an association to help victims that have had loved ones either killed or assassinated, and we've brought about 2,000 of those people out here tonight, so our ribbon is to show them that we care about the loved ones that they've lost wrongfully and that we support them, and our prayers are with them.
All the racers are showing their support of the victims against crime tonight.
Thank you, Mike, and thank you, Rick. And now let's talk about where Rick Johnson and the rest of the Grand National Sport Truck drivers are, Marty, as we get into this feature event.
Well, the thing that's interesting is Rick is going to be starting in row number 3 alongside of Rod Millen. Now, you can see those two are battling it out for the lead right now. And the man to watch is going to be Ivan Stewart. He won heat race number 2, but he's starting on the front row alongside of Roger Mears Jr. You can see how the points are updated. I think if you're picking right now, based on performance, you've got to go with the Ironman, with him being on the front row.
That's a good pick. I like that one, too. What do you say we go racing?
Well, if it happens, it'll be the first two-time winner this year. We've had 4 races, 4 different winners. And remember, Rod Millen is yet to make it to victory lane.
Let's go trackside. Well, we'll see if it's Ivan Stewart's race tonight, as Marty Reed said. Grand National Sport Truck main event. We're ready to roll here in Pasadena. There is Roger Mears Jr.
He's on the front row alongside the Ironman. In row 2, it's Mears Sr. and Rob McCackret. Rick Johnson and Rod Millen in row number 3. The winner is coming from those 3 rows. And the one guy you got to watch, he hasn't done much tonight, but you keep waiting for this team to break through, and that's the Ford Rough Rider, number 3 of Rob McCackret.
All right. The green flag is up and out. And quickly, it's the Budweiser of Roger Mears Jr. who takes the lead. Ivan Stewart right on his heels. Ivan Stewart looking to climb back up in the points race. He would certainly do himself well with a win tonight in the main. He has taken the lead after 1/2 lap. He's through the rhythm section and the Ironman. Ivan Stewart has the lead.
Thing to remember about Ivan is 10 days ago, he had that testing accident where he really hurt his back, made it through the Phoenix race. Boy, he is showing no signs of pain right now. In fact, the only pain he's giving is to the rest of the field.
Roger Jr. in second place. Roger Sr. now taking over in third as he passes Rob McCackret. In fact, it's Roger Sr. And is that Rick Johnson who kissed? Bottom line is, it is still Ivan Stewart with the lead. There's Rick Johnson inside his Chevy. He is our carrier inboard camera.
Yeah, he's running.
Ivan Stewart who has really taken the lead in this race.
And Rick is running 6th right now.
Ivan Stewart, Roger Jr., Roger Sr., Rob McCackret. 1, 2, 3.
And Mears Sr. has a broken left spindle. You'll see, look at it just falling around down there, and he is going to drop way back. He'll have to drop out of this race.
Meanwhile, Danny Thompson has already dropped out of the race. He has gone to the pits, and there you see the trouble that Roger Sr. is having, and he is done for the night. There's no question about it. Back to the leader here is Ivan Stewart in the Toyota. Parts flying, wheels spinning. He has the lead by about 10-car truck lengths over Roger Sr., over Roger Mears Jr. Roger Sr. is still in the race, though.
Yeah, Mears is continuing to drive. I don't know if he can go that long. I mean, every time he hits the bumps, it's just incredible the punishment he's putting on himself and the rest of the vehicle.
There is Rick Johnson, and now inside the Chevy of Rick Johnson. He's looking to make up ground, but it's not going to be easy for the man behind the wheel of the Chevy. It is still Ivan Stewart with the lead, second place, Roger Jr., and Rob McCackret currently running third. Rick Johnson in fourth, trying to come up now and take over that third spot behind Rob McCackret.
You know, Rod Millen is running 7th. This would not bode well for his points leadership if this ends up this way.
Meanwhile, Ivan Stewart now lapping Roger Sr., who refuses to dive. Roger Sr. can barely move. Not the case with Ivan Stewart or Roger Jr., or for that matter, the Chevrolet of Rick Johnson, who is now in third place.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he managed to get around the number 3 of Rob McCackret, putting McCackret back in fourth, and I know why. McCackret's got a flat right rear tire.
So McCackret, through attrition, dropping out. It's clean Roger Sr., it's clean Danny Thompson now perhaps claiming McCachran. Now inside, Rick Johnson and the Chevrolet. Still trying to make up ground, still trying to take over second place, which is currently held by Roger Jr. Ivan Stewart adding to his lead as he passes lap traffic in the form of Evan Evans. Less than 5 laps to go now. There you see the duel, and Johnson overtakes Roger Jr. for second place.
Nothing wrong with this man's vehicle, though. White flag out, one time around for the Ironman.
The Ironman with a sizable lead over Rick Johnson. Johnson could hold on and finish second. It's Ivan Stewart who has the lead. It is his race. We said at the beginning of this race it would be Ivan Stewart's race to either win or lose. Well, Ivan Stewart went out, took the lead. At the waning stages of lap 1, he has never let go. And now, set sail for home at his second checker flag of this 93 season. He's got it. The Ironman wins it tonight in Pasadena. Rick Johnson will finish second. Third place will go to Roger Jr. The winner tonight, the Ironman, Ivan Stewart. A game try by Johnson, but the cup goes to Ivan Stewart.
Yeah, number one, get the number. Ivan Stewart, you're the first two-time winner after 5 rounds of racing. Congratulations. You really needed this one tonight.
Well, I really did, Marty. I really wanted to win it for the precision preparation crew. Charlie Tisson, the guys that pulled the motor out and changed that bad motor we had. Actually, it wasn't a bad motor. We knocked the fitting off when I got together with Walker or Brian, one of them. But no, they did a great job. They have good tires, obviously. Ultra custom wheels. Couldn't have been better.
Take a look at the monitor. This is back to the start of the race, and just take us through it.
Well, I tell you what I was trying to do. We had so many restarts, Marty. I was trying to capitalize on what Roger Jr. was doing, and I thought if I could get a real good start, I had a throttle hanging up the first couple of restarts, and it would kind of, like a rocket got up in the engine someplace. But I had a good feeling like getting right through that area, so it filled off the goods, Marty.
Boy, from that moment on, you just rocketed past. Everybody else beat up on each other, but you had a nice, clean race. Congratulations. Great win.
Thank you very much.
And congratulations to our main event winners tonight here in Pasadena. Ivan Stewart, the Ironman in the Grand National Sport Trucks. In Ultracross, wow, what a night it was for Larry Brooks. Marty Coyne, he may want to expand his racing after tonight. The winner of the Super 1600s, Greg George. Another fine event for him in the Superlights. In the four-wheel ATV, Mark Earhart rode it home to victory. And in the sport utility, another big night for the Jeeps, and in particular for Tommy Krupp. Congratulations to everybody who rode home with the big prize tonight here in Pasadena. Mickey Thompson Stadium Off-Road Racing is brought to you by Budweiser, fresh, pure, natural, and proud to be your bud. And by Toyota Motorsports, where technology on a fast track is built into every Toyota. And by Quaker State, the big Q is one tough motor oil. In-car cameras made possible by your friends at Chevrolet, American Racing Custom Wheels, Goodyear, and Nature's Recipe Pet Food. Barrier camera compliments of Dick CPEC and Rancho Suspension. Now, this is Ken Bruce speaking to you, along with Marty Reed and Mike Galloway, saying so long from the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, and reminding you that this has been a presentation of Bud Sports in association with ESPN.
The thrill.
Definitely a suicidal sport. Your car's more active with the terrain than you are. You're just kind of trying to hang on and keep the car going down the road. It rattles your brain, it rattles your body, it shakes your guts up. It's kind of like taking a cat, putting them in a blender, and turning it on to grind. Hell of airs, that's when you're coming through a section and you just hit a bump, and next thing you know, you're 4 feet in the air. Whoop-de-doo sections, which is like roller bumps, roller trains, and you can rock through those, or you can just hammer down in them. Then you got the old endo, which is where you come off a jump, you dig the nose, and you flip end over end. In general, it's a pretty safe sport. You don't have those kind of problems a lot.
Worst injury I've had is going end over end 3 times, about 65 miles an hour, broke my back. Needless to say, we didn't win that one.
It takes parts and it takes money, and that's what'll get you to the finish line. Yeah.